So today we're gonna meet Rodo. Rodo's practice is basically giving us the power of self-regulating our nervous system. He was inspired by freediving, this I remember because I'm really interested in freediving, and some kind of neurobiological shift he experienced from holding his breath. His practice works with very high levels of CO2 that should allow us to access deep state of awareness. Let's find out how intense this practice can be and what's going to happen to me. So you're living in Ibiza, you said, right?
Most of the time that I can, yes. We got a certification by a neuroscience laboratory in Portugal, and since that moment the methodology became a systematic, scientifically proven. Reputation and the people that practice are growing a lot, and thankfully we're traveling around the globe.
What kind of tests did you do?
We did EGG and heart rate and cortisol and pH level managers.
Okay.
Breathing is just the easiest first step for everyone to connect and understand the technology that the CO2 does in the nervous system. The brain can connect to the heart and link. This link is what people confuse with psychedelics. It's a psychedelic state because the brain finally allows the blood irrigation and the coherence to be very efficient and very effective. When people do the first session, they feel this peace and they feel this connection. That's the beginning.
So today you're gonna plant a seed in me.
Hopefully. I was diagnosed with high level of anxiety disorders and panic, and that led into a spectrum of autism that eventually developed into schizophrenia. And I never wanted to take substances, either medicine. So I was since very young, 13, 14, I'm like, I don't want to take this, and my parents thankfully supported it, because I was in that spectrum. And when I was around 25, my sister was like, you have to do these mantras. And she sent it to me. And the moment I sat, I went to 45 minutes of mantras, and I was in this blissing state because finally my monkeys and finally my monsters stopped. So I went deep into practice, and then I found the founder of Nam Yoga, Dr. Lebri. And I went to a seminar of him, and for the next 8 years, I was practicing 3 to 4 hours a day of pranayama and mantra and kundalini yoga. But when you practice only meditation and yoga, you build spiritual ego. So you don't really connect to people because your frequency is so high that you don't want to deal with people's egos, with people's reactions. I was a very fragile, frightened, very low self-esteem person, and I started really enjoying the breath holds. So I have this tradition where before we have a connection and a transition, I love to connect with small rapé. That is a Mexican, Latin American ways of remove our thinking, go into our feelings, and from that space, creating something.
Okay. Let's do the rapé. Don't hit me too hard.
It tunes you in. Stop the left brain to be so active and connect the right brain so you can be more emotionally connected.
Okay. Yeah.
That's nice.
Oh. Just made me tear a lot, you nothing.
And we haven't even done the session yet.
Oh, imagine.
So the breath navigation system is based on ventilations and then breath holds and then how we manipulate the belly so we can stimulate the spine, the vagus through the contraction that is based on the diaphragm. So there are 3 positions you need to learn to use. First position is when you pull the belly down and out. It's called first banda. Mm-hmm. Second banda is when you squeeze the belly in and tight. Mm-hmm. Third banda is when you exhale, and then you squeeze the belly in and out. In this part, the vagus is connected to the middle ear. So when you do a breath hold, the CO2 extends the vagus because you go into panic mode. So the first breath, you will feel anxious, you will feel panicking. It's part of the process. And this is what we learn. Life is not about control. Life is about flowing and navigating this state where clarity is what you know you need to do. And on one of those bandas, I saw myself breathing inside the water. That day I met a guy from Holland, and he goes like, yeah, you're certified in freediving. I said, what is freediving? He's like, when you hold your breath in the water. And I'm like, oh, panic came in, you know? And I said, oh, this is the way. So I started going to the things that I was afraid of. And then that weekend, I went to certify in freediving. So I get to 30 meters very easily without contractions, which is a very good parameter of like you have capacities for deep diving. The contraction is a system the body has to keep your breath hold and pumping the oxygen to the extremities. And this is where I dissected the contraction from freediving into self-regulation practice. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I became a professional freediver. I get to 65, 70 meters, and I stopped meditating. 4 or 5 minute breath holds start giving me the same coherence as 5-hour practices of spiritual purposes. 3, 2, 1. Exhale completely. And after trying LSD and psilocybin, I found myself. But with pranayama and breath holds, we can start firing up the synapses that psychedelics do. CO2 is the only drug that we can train ourselves to use to create this high coherence. What we focus in our research is how we sustain this coherence.
I appreciate a lot someone that struggled during his journey, but then makes it and finds his own path. This is Rodo's story. I really liked him. The sun coming into the yurt got into my eyes in the final part of the session, and it was a blessing because it just amplified the feelings I was having through all my body. I love breathing sessions. I always say that it's such an undervalued tool that we have embedded in us and we don't use enough. Thank you.
Welcome, Chair. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, that's it. Now, on with the WellQuest.